Morning, I'm Jon Thelen. Today I'm fish head. It's midsummer, the water's warming up. Bite's pretty hot. It's probably my favorite time of the year to be fishing. This happens every year, you know, middle of June on through the end of July. This is some of the best fishing of the year. These fish, man, they're just eating. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of different ways you can catch them, but what we're gonna do today, probably one of my favorites, we're pulling hybrid baits. And these hybrid baits give you the best of both worlds. We'll talk about it as the show goes on today. Stay right where you're at. Fish head's coming up. There's one. Look at that. Wow. I went up to get my coffee. I just wanted to, wow, I'm not even moving this fish. I went up to get my coffee. I'm just trying to get things set up here. You know, obviously everything gets tougher in the wind. And we're in a lot of wind this morning. This is a big fish to start. We're in a lot of wind this morning, and I was just trying to get everything set up the way I want it here. And I turned around and this rod was doubled over. I don't think you could ask for a better way to start. A little bit tough when you're moving as fast as we are. You know, you got to remember, you really got to give these fish a little bit of drag, because when it comes down to it, I'm already moving a mile and a half in the surges. And then this fish, he comes up and hits it. It's a big eye to start. Oh boy, come here, buddy. Got him. Whew. That's tough when you're twisting and turning like that, but we got him. That's exactly how we wanted to fire our day up here. A big walleye to start. I'm gonna get this guy out of here. I'll tell you a little bit about what you're gonna see us doing today. Look at that. Came right through the back for me. Look at that. What a great fish. What a great way to start our day. Midsummer. Waters is warming up. It's hitting that point. There he goes. It's hitting that point where fish have gotten really, really aggressive. It's probably my favorite time of the year to fish. You know, I hear a lot of people talk about fall, and don't get me wrong, I like fishing in the fall. I like it when all of a sudden those minnows come in to spawn and everything cranks up. But I think this is actually my favorite time of year to fish. Those June weeks, you know, on into July, when the water's hitting that warming point, the spawn's long gone, and the fish are aggressive and they're just smacking it. I mean, that one right there, I just got it in a rod holder. I go to get my coffee, turn around, and he's hooked up, and that's because they're aggressive. We're fishing aggressive techniques. We're fishing fast, because fish are willing to chase. That's what makes it my favorite time of the year. These fish are on the chew and they're willing to chase. They're willing to chase aggressive baits. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna fish aggressive baits. We're gonna have to work the wind. I mean, as you can tell, I'm not gonna troll against this wind. There's no way I'm gonna get away with that. But here's what I am gonna be able to do. I've picked a spot where I'm able to work it down with the wind, and there's fish all along here. I think we're gonna be able to catch them pretty consistently. I've seen a lot of them, and that one bit pretty quick. I saw a lot of them when I just drove up checking it out to get started. So here we go, right? Ooh, there's one right there. Wow. Just goes to show you that sometimes, and I really believe this, sometimes you catch more fish when you're in a rod holder. And here's why. A lot of times these fish, especially when they're aggressive like these walleyes are, they'll come up and hit. And if you drop that rod tip to them, they don't get it. So what happens a lot of times is you lose fish. And I lost a fish or two that first pass too. And the main reason I did was because I was just not prepared for the bite. Fish hit me. Ooh, this is a big fish. Fish hit me, and I wasn't ready. I dropped that tip, and I didn't get him. This is the second fish of the day where I'm messing around with other stuff in the boat. I turn around and look. Oh, yeah, this is a big eye. Let's see if we can get this guy here. It's kind of tough, too. It's hard to slow down in this wind. You're really at a disadvantage One thing I could do is get the net in the right spot. It's just gonna happen back behind the boat a little bit. He's not a giant. I thought he was bigger than this, but he ain't bad. Oh geez. It's the one thing about fishing by yourself. Everything's a little more complicated. We got him. That's when you want to make sure you're using good stuff. Keeping fish hooked up, that's a big deal. Especially when you're by yourself, man. That's a good fish. Look at that eye. He is a bigger fish, and what a healthy fish that is. Let's see if we can get this fish out of here quick. And I want to show you what I'm using, because I think it's one of the most overlooked baits that you can buy right now. Look at that. What a great eye. That eye right there is flat out attacking aggressive baits right now. That fish is doing nothing but eating. 24-inch walleyes like that, they don't know how to do anything else after they get done spawning. They just eat. What a great fish. All right, you get out of here. Here it goes. So let me show you what I'm using here, because, man, this is one of my favorite baits, and it's funny because I think it's still underused. It's been around for a few years, but I think it's underused by most people. This is the Lindy lil'guy, and all I'm doing is I'm putting a crawler on here, and I'm nipping him off just in front of the end of the tail, just trying to put a little extra scent down there, and that crawler's down there doing this. But here's what's really cool. This lil'guy is running like a crankbait, okay? This body, and I'm just using the small little 1-inch size today, partially because the bait they're feeding on isn't real big in this lake. Now, if I was in a lake where they're feeding on big stuff, I'd use the bigger size. I'd use the 1.5 inch or the 2-inch, but this 1-inch size is just ideal. Comes in a whole bunch of great colors. And here's the thing that I think is really cool too. This snell, you're talking 14-pound fluorocarbon, good quality hooks. So you get a big fish like that, you're not nicked up, you're not breaking anything off. I mean, we've all had it happen with spinners or snell products where in your net, you break that second hook off. You don't have that problem with this. This is just a deadly bait, and it's one of those baits that's so great when the fishing's hot. I mean, when the fish are turned on, you're gonna pick every fish off coming through here because they love seeing that wiggle, they love seeing that action, and then you're pulling meat behind it. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. That's why it's called a hybrid bait. I mean, it's just a really cool bait. One of the things I'm doing today is I'm thinking heavy. I might be able to get by, there's a fish right there. I might be able to get by with 1.5 ounces today, but I'm not using 1.5 ounces. I'm using a 2 because I want to make sure that I stay in the zone. And as long as I'm in the zone, man, I'll tell you what, I'm catching. I mean, it's one after another. I'm catching as long as I'm in that zone. We're dialed in right now to nothing less than a great bite. And this right here feels like a pretty big fish. I'm gonna do the same thing I did earlier and get the net behind me here. I've gotten pretty used over the years to fishing by myself, but I'll tell you what, it's not always simple when you hook up a big fish and you're moving like we're moving here. Because, I mean, I'm clipping along at a pretty good pace, and you hook up a fish like this, and you want to take it easy on it. You don't want to lose it, but you hate to slow the thing down and start just drifting, because that's how all of a sudden you end up under the boat. So that's why I'm continuing to keep moving here. Oh, yeah, great eye. Look at this one. What a great way to wrap up a day. That's the biggest one we've caught today, and what a great fish, man. Look at this one. See if I can get him out of here. It's kind of tangled up. I'm gonna unhook it and then get him out of here so you can see him, because I don't want him to get hurt. And he's got both hooks in him, and I can actually pop him. Look at that. Look at that. What a great fish, man. Awesome, awesome day of fishing. Here he goes.